Our next session, starting on the theme post-secondary and beyond. And so we'll just take a minute to get set up here, but ready to go? Ready? Okay, I'd like to introduce Chris Crowley and Saeed Dynatkar from UBC, and they're going to be presenting on their project Soilweb.
Hi, thank you, Leva. My name's Chris. I work at Center for Teaching, Learning and Technology at UBC. And Saeed, my colleague, we're going to be doing kind of an informal presentation, bouncing ideas back and forth. I'm going to start because I'm the old guy here. Part of the resources used in this website originate way back in, well, they actually started around Expo 86 time, so I think some of the students weren't even born at that time. We developed telecourses for Knowledge Network. These programs were broadcast on the Knowledge Network for a few years. Knowledge Network got kind of tired of them, so we moved into video cassette, and they were mailed out to the students in their correspondence packages. Around 2002, a young faculty member from the Faculty of Land and Food Systems was using these videos in her classroom and thought that these videos covered different soil types in BC, and in Canada there are 10 soil types, and this video sequence covered 4 of them. She thought it'd be a good idea if we could actually do all 10, and we're very lucky in BC that we have all 10 soil groups in our province. So on her initiative, we applied for money from BC Canvas and were successful, and we were able to complete the whole set of videos for all the different soil types. With that success, she also applied for other grants. We started looking at, well, how are these soils, we know how they're classified, how are they formed? So we did a sequence on how they're formed. This led us to another one. Anyway, we ended up with a whole variety of resources that were located on different websites. So we kind of centralized it on in this thing. We actually call it Virtual Soil Science Learning Resources. I call it Soilweb for short. As a distance learner, we're always we're talking about accessibility. In these cases, we're able to take the camera out to the field, so students were able to actually see what these different soils look like, how they were formed. We have different content. Some looks at how glaciation impacted soil formation here in Canada, because obviously 10,000 years ago, there was a huge impact on glaciers. In fact, all our soils are based on these parent materials. The site has a variety of resources. Saeed's going to go through them with you. But one of the things I liked about this was there is a historical component to the website. And we're not just talking about content. We're talking about people involved. We're talking about the soil scientists, the researchers, the people who have worked in this field. So the website is not just about content. It's about building a community. And some of the people we did videotape in 1988 have actually passed on. But the content is there, the soil profile doesn't change, the subject material is correct. So we're able to build on that. So we have all this resource material from people from all over BC, from 25 years ago, and we've got the younger people involved. So we're really looking at building not just a content site, but a community. And in some of these, on some of the sites here too, we have connections with the soil science, what's it called, the Pacific Soil Science Group. Anyway, we're a place where professionals and resource people can connect. So I don't know if there's anything else. Do you want to take people through the website a bit?
So this is a website that was actually created after all of the other resources were there. We wanted to somehow connect every one of those modules together. For our users to find everything that they needed to find. So they're all connected through this hub, and it's really easy to find. It's soilweb.ca, and then it takes you to the server on UBC's web server. All of the websites are hosted on UBC web server, and except for some of the videos, of course. And then if you go to each of these resources, it takes you to a page that describes what this resource is and who worked on this resource. And if you click on the thumbnail, it takes you to the website. And on each website, we try to maximize usability and make it easier for both students and faculty members. As Chris mentioned, this is a blended tool, so students have their in-class experience, and this is just extra learning resource they can go to. And in soil science, it's very important because not every student get a chance to go on a field trip in northern BC, for example. So they can go there and see what the content experts are talking about on location, watching some of the videos. And if you go to the website, we originally started hosting all the videos on our own server, but later on, because this is an open resource, we decided to move everything to YouTube. Now we have our YouTube channel as well, so any video can be also accessed through YouTube. It's so much easier for people to find what they need if they don't want to go to the website directly. And as you can see, we have a variety of different, I can just show you one example. This is one of the very earliest ones. So we usually have a host. In this case, the host is a student. She's a researcher, she's a grad student, and she asks questions that a typical student might have from the content expert. So we take camera and equipment to different locations and ask, and then let the conversation begin. And then we can show them the specifics. I mean, this is just establishing shot, but then we go to details. You want to add anything to the video?
The site itself isn't one of these, doesn't use any special technology. It basically relies on video, text, and graphics to convey the content. That the land use impact tool is something they use in a blended learning environment where it's used in a 4th or 5th year level soil course where it's based on it's a problem-based learning course. So they receive materials in the classroom. They're asked to go to the website. There's parts of the website that we actually can't access today that students go to get materials so they can actually carry on with their project. The other thing is in here there's a soil monolith website, and soil monoliths are profiles that have been cut out of the soils, and there's hundreds of these things. They were at UBC, and they were in these labs collecting dust, and we were able to actually photograph them and put them onto the website so anybody can access them. So you don't have to come down to UBC lab, the soil science labs at UBC. They're available on the internet. People interested in this resource can just, if you're interested in Brunasol and what it looks like, you can actually go to the site to do this. The other thing, how much time we got left?
5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. I think another huge part of this was the collaboration. There was a collaboration between the universities. There was UBC, UNBC, TRU, Agriculture Canada. There was also involvement from SFU, and that was a huge component, and that was partly through the BC Canvas people that we were able to put this collaboration together. The other part of that collaboration was the teamwork, and I think you can see through this website that a lot of people were involved, and we all worked very closely together. I think there's a recognition of everybody's different expertises, and we were able to work together as a team and put this together. And it was a lot of fun. It was educational as well as fun to put together. I don't what else?
And as you can see, again, this is another video just to show you an example of how
Scott,
the interaction works.
The whole purpose of this project has been to study and illustrate and describe parent materials. What are some of the things that we should think about in terms of what parent materials define in terms of soils?
Well, parent materials are one of the 5 classic soil forming factors, and we have been focusing on parent materials, and for good reason. I think we consider the attributes of a soil that...
This was shot near Jasper, so we, in order to capture what the soil landscape looked like, the parent material landscape looked like, we went to where the most recent glaciation happenings occurred, and that was, of course, in the Banff area, the Rocky Mountains. So we were actually able to go to the glaciers and look at diluvial fans and various glacial debris that became the soils that today that can grow our food and our trees and things like that. Someone mentioned, I was talking earlier, even the older ones, they do get tired looking, but because I guess when people work, they wear sort of the same clothes. Sometimes when you videotape people in 1980, you can tell by the hairstyles. But everybody wore baseball caps and jeans when they're on the field, so it doesn't look very old. Is there anything else?
I think the last thing I wanted to mention is,
Yes.
so depending on the user, before we even start creating anything, we get together all of the team members, instructional designers, content developers, and faculty members, content experts, and really sit down and think who the user is, who the audience is, what they need to know, and how they can access this information. This is just one example. We usually create content for post-secondary students and faculty, but this is one example just to show you how different can be. This is for high school students, and this is just for outreach program at UBC. They're trying to go beyond university and get people interested, because soil programs throughout BC and I think throughout Canada is shrinking, which is very unusual at this time. So this is how we're trying to get users at that level interested. This is still in a work in progress. It's going to be animated later on. This is basically the phase one of this program. Then we have two characters who are going to be animated. One of them is a teacher. The other one is a student in a science, I guess, class in a high school. And then they interact with each other throughout this website to learn. It's following the same concept of having conversation going on through the content. You want to show this?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
We're going to show you a little video clip. I said we had a lot of fun doing this, so we have a bit of a blooper reel. So my apologies to the webcast people. I don't think we can show it to you. So anyway, have fun. We were pretty punch drunk after 5 days of working together.
Another lovely day in the field.
Absolutely. Dr. Grayson, she ruined the shot.
Now, stable isotopes are... I forgot the word.
No, you are full of shit.
Yeah, I know it.
Action.
What action?
This should be recorded. Is this being recorded?
So, Sandra. Sorry.
Maybe I'll have the label all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ow.
He's making faces.
We were losing it by this point. So. We can take questions after.
Thank you. What I found interesting about that presentation is how basically a lot of us probably are at institutions where there's a ton of resources sitting around, getting dusty, sitting on a variety of different servers and drives, and how you guys were able to take all that and put it into a resource that's meaningful and has a longer shelf life, I guess.
Yeah, part of the guess we talk about repurposing, and that's what we were doing. And it was really nice to actually sort of rescue this stuff that was sort of sitting in the storage rooms and give it new life and give it new accessibility to people who could be anywhere in Canada or the world. I think, did you have a question? We were all part of the panel. We had a lot of people involved, a lot of soil science people. So, informally, I guess, Maya Kurzic is the professor in the Faculty of Land and Food Systems, who is kind of the project leader. And a lot of it went through her, and they're all professionals in the field and spoke to their profession and their expertise. And so it was just a matter of us sort of trying to assemble it into something that made sense. We went out with no scripts quite often. We didn't know what was going to be said. We didn't know where we were going to be. We got in the truck and we were driven out to a site, and they started talking, and so we ended up with tons and tons of material, and we were doing it kind of backwards in a way. But when you work with soil scientists, that's what you get, you know. No, they're a great lot.